Hi everyone, this is Adriana, and I'm going to be giving you astrology horoscopes based off of the full moon this Saturday, or depending on the time you're watching this, on the 24th of February. The full moon could affect us for anywhere up to a few days before or after the full moon. So even if you do watch this later, you can see if it's still affecting you, see how it's resonating with you, or if you can relate to what has already transpired for you. So I will go through each sign. So this is going to be based off of your sun sign mostly, but also your rising sign, which is also very important. So you can check both. You might feel like one resonates more than the other, or that both do. And before I get into that, I am going to just briefly talk about what this full moon in Virgo is all about. And then I'll get right into the zodiac signs. I'm very excited to start doing this. If you guys enjoy this, please let me know if you would like this to be a series and if you'd like me to continue this. So I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen real quick. Okay, so what's going on in the sky on Saturday here? We have a full moon in Virgo. Virgo is a very practical sign, and you might be feeling more even just wanting to be at home, just kind of being more introspective, especially when it comes to your emotions. So some of us may be going into hermit mode, just like the Hermit tarot cards, and doing some self-reflection, some inner work when it comes to our emotions. And again, I'll go into more specifics with each of your zodiac signs in a minute. But yeah, just kind of being in hermit mode around this time. You might even start planning some things that you've been wanting to do that has been important for you. So definitely something that you could be thinking about. This is also falling in the third house here, which is ruled by the planet Mercury. So communication is a big factor playing into this full moon. It is in opposition to Saturn. I immediately feel that some of us could be dealing with some mother-father issues or feminine-masculine issues here. So kind of coming to a head here. So there could definitely be some issues in relation to those energies or to mothers and fathers specifically. This could also have to do with some karma coming in because Saturn is the planet that rules karma. It could take place or have to do with something at home, close to home. Okay, so that full moon could really be highlighting that at this time. And it's also in opposition to Mercury in Pisces. The sun's also in Pisces. We are in Pisces season, entering it now. Yeah, we are in Pisces season now. So it's kind of this balance, this balancing act, which we get a lot of in astrology with idealism and maybe even a little bit of victimhood. Okay, so on one end, there's that. And then Virgo is like, okay, let's be rational, let's be practical, let's get grounded, because Pisces just kind of wants to drift away and in la la land, very dreamy. Okay, some of you also may experience some more potentially heightened dreams, even just during Pisces season in general. Okay, so but yeah, the full moon is trying to actually ground our emotions and kind of be like, okay, hold on, let's not take this too far, let's pull in the reins here. That's what Virgo is trying to do, grounding energy. Okay, so I think that's mostly what I wanted to say about that. So let's get into the zodiac signs. Again, this is based off of your sun and rising sign. I will have timestamps below, so if you want to just go straight to your sun and rising sign so you can get your little horoscope for this full moon on Saturday. And again, it won't be just specifically Saturday. You might feel it more on Saturday, but what I will talk about can definitely happen around this full moon. So within those few days, there's kind of that window there for this full moon energy. Okay, so starting off first, we're going to go in order here. So Aries. So this full moon is in the 6th house for Aries. So what I'm getting from this Aries, so Aries, you guys need to be a little careful about your physical health, especially at this time, okay? So maybe you guys are feeling a little sick or under the weather, so just make sure to take extra care of yourself. Possible headaches as well, migraines, since Aries rules the head. I was picking up on maybe something there too, so just be careful at this time with things like that. Also be careful of any sort of spiritual attacks. Okay, so not even just physical, but spiritual things going on here, because the 12th house is across from the 6th house, which rules health. The 12th house deals with spirituality. So yeah, you guys need to be a little extra cautious at this time, Aries. You might be more of a beacon, for how the full moon can sometimes bring out some negative people. So just be extra cautious. So if you work in the public or anything like that, just do what you can to kind of stay low key as much as you can. There's ways too that you can protect yourself, whether that's even doing like the evil eye talisman or cornicello, whatever it might be in your culture, things like that. Some people use crystals. So, but yeah, just taking extra care of your physical health as well as watching out for other people that may seem to be drawn to you for whatever reason at this time, that may not have the best intentions or kind of be energy vampires. So do watch out for that. I'm sorry that's not a more uplifting message, but it's better to be careful and to be aware about that. So anything else I could add there? I think if anything, the positive you could take away from this though is if you didn't realize too you were dealing with certain things or maybe certain people who have these bad behaviors, the full moon is going to light this up. So that way now you at least know and you're going to become aware of it. And now you can take practical steps and healing steps to get through this or to get rid of it, to deal with it head on. Okay. Okay, so next, Taurus. Taurus, so the full moon is in your 5th house. Your creativity is being highlighted at this time. Also, if you are parents, this is an important time of having to do with your children. It could be maybe some important things happening with your children. I will say to just be careful about what is going on with your children. Maybe there could be some maybe things at school or groups, going on there with them. So that's something to pay attention to. So just pay attention basically to your kids and kind of what's going on with them. If you don't have kids, again, this is just more so about your creativity. What kind of ideas do you want to start implementing or planning out here? What are your aspirations here? It doesn't necessarily have to be creative in the sense of like art and music. It definitely can be, but it's more so what you can create, any ideas that you've had that you have been wanting to implement or set some short-term goals on. And then maybe as the new moon comes around, you can get that really going. So it's a good time to plan, especially with that Virgo energy from the full moon. It's a great time to plan those things. And I will say, if you work with children here, so if you work with especially like large groups of children, do be careful of, again, maybe some drama or things like that going on. Like if you are in a school system or you do some sort of work with children, it's really going to be highlighted at this time. I don't think it'll be any, it doesn't seem like any sort of crazy drama I'm getting from this. It's just more things that will need your attention, basically. But again, the nice thing with Virgo is you'll be able to find a sense of practicality with it and deal with it pretty head on and in a good way. Okay, so moving on to the next sign. Gemini, the full moon is in your 4th house, which deals with the home and family. So this is being highlighted here for you. So there's a really big sense here of you needing to balance work and family. And if you don't have necessarily a big family, or if it's just maybe you and another person in your home, it's really highlighting the sense of you needing to balance your relationship with those people, because presumably they're people that you care about. So, you know, you want to really bring your attention to them and think about, am I balancing, especially when it comes to your emotions, right? Because this is the full moon. The moon is all about emotions. Are you pouring your love and emotions there at home? Okay, so, and home is where the heart is, right? So are you putting the love and care that you need into that? Do you need to balance out some things with that? Are you putting maybe too much into your work or you know, things or projects like that? Are you putting too much there and not enough in the home here or your relationships? Okay, so something for you to think about during this full moon. And again, with that Virgo energy, you can do it in a very practical and healing way, because Virgo does have a very healing quality to it. Okay. Okay, so next sign is Cancer. So Cancer, you guys have a full moon in the 3rd house. So Cancer, suns and risings. It is in the 3rd house, so the house of communication. This can also have to do with siblings and your community. So if you guys see, this is just a black bag, so it almost scared me at first when I was making this video. Like, it's blurring. There it goes. So it blurs that. Sorry, I just felt like I had to mention it because I saw it again. Anyways, just got this black bag behind me. I need to move it. I got myself distracted. Yeah, so again, your siblings could have a big factor into this. So something might come up with your siblings. They might reach out to you, or you might be feeling the need to reach out to them, maybe talk with them more, especially if you haven't seen each other in a while. That could be really big during the next few days around this full moon. Maybe they'll share some news with you even. This could also have to do with your community. There may be some things going on in your immediate community around you. So different changes perhaps happening there, or perhaps how you feel about your community may change a little bit, or yeah, it might be more external things. So that'll be different for everyone. So that might be for some people. Not really feeling like too much of that from a large number of you, but yes, mostly with this though, it's about expressing your emotions. how do you express your emotions? Do you communicate in a healthy way? Is this something that you need to work on? Is this something that you need to think about? This is being highlighted for you at this time. You may be feeling the need to, if you have especially been feeling very emotional or sensitive, now is the time to think about a healthy way to express and communicate how you're feeling, especially if it involves another person. You want to do that in a practical way, where, obviously it's not pointing fingers at anyone, but just saying how you feel, not how, not what maybe someone did, but how you feel. And being able to express that and first acknowledge it and being able to communicate that is going to be very big for you. So some of you guys may open up around this time, Cancers, and expressing how you are feeling about maybe a certain situation or anything that has been really on your mind. Okay. Okay, so going to the next sign here, let me just grab some water. How am I doing on time here? Don't want to make it too long. Some H2O. Okay, Leos, I had to get a sip of water before doing yours now. All right, Leos, so this full moon is going to be in your second house. Across from your second house is the eighth house, which has to do with that scorpionic energy, with death and rebirth, transformation. So what I was really picking up on with this, there's this big message here I'm getting with your value and your self-worth. Okay, so have you been thinking about your self-worth here? How do you show your value to yourself? Have you been undervaluing yourself? Have you been selling yourself short maybe? There's something here with, I would say, not only value as in physical money, which I do think this is part of it as well. Do be careful about your money and your spending at this time. Just be careful about it, plan it out, be practical with that Virgo full moon energy, be practical about it, plan it out. Don't make any purchases, especially that sound too good to be true. That could be that Pisces opposition going on. So might sound too out of too good to be true. But yes, it's being careful about that, but also thinking about your self-worth. Do you have insecurities you need to work through at this time that are maybe they're coming up more for whatever reason at this time? That may be something that you need to work through at this point here, Leos. Okay. So think about your self-worth. How do you value yourself here? Okay. All right. And then Virgo. So Virgo, this full moon is taking place in your first house. So this is about you, Virgo, sun and rising signs. You kind of have this focus right now during this full moon and about yourself right now, and you are excuse me, you're taking some time out maybe for yourself, again going into hermit mode like I mentioned earlier in this video with that Virgo energy, right? Maybe you're kind of just taking some time out at home, doing some introspection, grounding your emotions, and you may need that at this time. But what this full moon is highlighting to you, Virgo, is not only doing that for yourself, but how do you also show up for others? How do you balance that, especially when it comes to your relationships? Because the first house is directly across from the seventh house, which deals with marriages and any other partnerships. So it could even be business partnerships. So it may not be a romantic connection, but for many of you, it could definitely be. So how do you balance, your emotions with taking care of yourself, but also expressing your emotions to those that you care about? those that you are who you're married to. Okay, so especially in marriage. So the full moon is asking you, how can you bring a sense of grounding to both those parts of your life? Okay. This also is kind of bringing up too your physical appearance. That might be coming up at this time for you. Sorry, I have this plastic bag behind me, and sometimes it blurs. There it goes. I'm trying to block it. Okay. Didn't want that to scare anyone because it almost scared me. Um, but yeah, sorry, your physical appearance. Some of you guys might be thinking about it at this time. If you're wanting to maybe better your physical appearance or even just your own self-identity, maybe you're kind of questioning what certain things define you, quote unquote. So that's something for you, again, to have that kind of introspection about. You can have that aspect of, you have your relationship, but you're not defined by your relationship. You still have your own individuality, of course, but again, find that balance of your own individuality and also having the time and place too for your important relationships. Okay. Okay, so moving to the next sign, Libra. Libra, this full moon is highlighting your 12th house, the 12th house here. So I am picking up on some spiritual activity for you, Libras. I was kind of getting that too with Aries, but with you guys specifically, I feel like some of you may be getting some messages from the other side, maybe through dreams, or if some of you are psychic, maybe maybe you hear it or however you receive it, maybe through divination, however that may be. But yeah, definitely spiritual messages. It could even be ancestral messages coming through. And this could even be in the form of signs too. So maybe if you're out in nature, you may see certain signs that indicate some sort of message or sign that you're looking for, quite literally. You're maybe asking for a sign having to do with something here. Okay, so yeah, some of you guys, your ancestors may be very close to you at this time, Libras, with this full moon. You may really feel that intuitively with it being the moon here impacting this. And with Virgo too, that can be very intuitive as well. And you guys may be feeling more withdrawn. I think this is a good time for you to decompress, kind of. Also, like I was saying, with, what was it, Virgo and maybe Gemini too. I can't remember now, but yeah, just maybe having more of that time at home to relax and decompress, or even if it's not at home, if you're just kind of going out in nature or doing something that is withdrawing more from the external world, from society, from the busy life, day-to-day life. So you may really need that at this time, Libras. Okay, especially if you are feeling very just spiritually in tune at this time. There's a real sense for you to just withdraw. Okay. All right, so then we have Scorpio. So Scorpios, sun and rising sign, this full moon is taking place in your 11th house. So this has to do with your friendships, okay? Friendships being highlighted here, or groups of people. I did note to be careful of possible dramas in friendships during the full moon. With it being in Virgo, it shouldn't be anything too bad, hopefully. For some of you, it could, it'll just depend. Everyone's situation is going to be different. These are very general readings, so and I'd have to look at your chart specifically. But I mean, with that Virgo full moon it could have to do with maybe a little bit of perfectionism within social circles. So be careful of that, I'd say. It might not be from you, but from other people, maybe being too um, almost nitpicky or even clicky. So just be aware of that at this time. Maybe it's not usual behavior from your friends or whatever circles you're in, social circles. It may not be a usual behavior, it might just be around this full moon. So just watch out for that. Try not to get sucked in too much if that is happening. This is a good time for you guys to focus and get aligned with your dreams and aspirations. So that is your main thing that you guys, Scorpio, should be thinking about at this time. So utilize this energy to maybe start making some planning, especially with Virgo. Virgo is a great sign for planning and thinking about how you can achieve your aspirations. What baby steps do you need to take to get there? Okay, and Sagittarius, this full moon is taking place in your 10th house. So this is impacting and highlighting your work and career here. Okay, so definitely see some changes within your work for better or for worse. I think with the Virgo energy, it'll actually be for something I'd say better. It'll bring maybe some more productivity. You might see some more success, start to get going, at least the start of that with work. Now that still could be, it could mean changes within your workplace, but it looks like it would be for the better, I feel, because of that Virgo energy, bringing that sense of practicality, a good sense of planning involved, maybe with any work projects that you have, if you run your own business too, it can be really great energy for that. So yeah, utilize that to make any planning, make any plans or short-term goals that you need. Some of you guys may also have some sort of influence with your father here. It is across from the 4th house. So that has to do with home and family. So perhaps some of you may be hearing from your father or visiting your father, or vice versa. They might visit you. Could have something to do there, okay, with the 10th house. Okay. All right, so next we have Capricorn. Capricorn, this full moon is highlighting your 9th house. This is a great time for you Capricorns for studying and planning, especially if you're trying to plan travel. Me personally, I am doing a lot of studying as a Capricorn sun myself, and hopefully trying to make some travel plans. So this is a great time to do it, especially with practical Virgo in the moon. Our emotions are at play here with these. So your emotions are tied to these studies, or this any of this planning or travel aspirations that you have. There's some sort of emotional tie to it. It could be something you're very passionate about. Again, using myself as an example, I'm very passionate about astrology. So this is something that I've been always wanting to achieve. So I'm doing my studies at that. So yeah, definitely a great time for that. With that Jupiter energy, it's very expansive in the 9th house. So you're going to start seeing a lot of growth in whatever you put your studies and or even philosophy, could even be spiritual practices too, even. You're going to see a lot of growth in that at this time. So whatever your energy you're putting into with that, you're going to start to see the rewards of that after, maybe closer to the new moon. Okay. Also, this is a great time for you to think about the big picture. Where do you want to see yourself go? Okay. It could be quite literally if you want to travel, or figuratively, where do you want to see yourself go in life? Okay. Okay, and then Aquarius, sun and rising signs. This full moon in Virgo is highlighting your 8th house. The 8th house is very deep and transformative. It's that scorpionic energy, that death and rebirth, transformative energy going on there. So Aquarius, you guys are feeling very emotional and very deep maybe at this time, okay? Especially with the full moon energy. So just try to keep your emotions in check as best as you can during this time. Um, some of you do be careful of any depression or mental health too. Take good care of yourself. If you need counseling, please seek that out if needed. Um, there's a message here of I'm getting with you guys needing to be open to receiving. If you guys have been like giving, 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 time to put the brakes on that. Be open to receiving now. Okay, especially if it involved money too. If you were giving away maybe too much money to somebody, even if it was somebody you care about, you also need to, have boundaries in place and kind of set the brakes on that. So that might be a message for some of you. Be careful with your money at this time. You want to, yeah, just be mindful of that. Have those boundaries in place. I'm not saying this is everybody. This may not apply to everyone, but some of you may have been getting taken advantage of a little bit when it comes to money matters, things like that, material things. Um, so yeah, just be careful of that if that applies to you. But yes, just take some time out for yourself if you need to. Aquarius, I almost said Scorpio. I was thinking of a Scorpio in the eighth house, but yeah, and be open. Be open to receiving. You deserve to receive as well. Okay, so I feel like you have kind of some karma, debt coming back to you. So good karma coming back to you, especially if you guys have been kind of giving away too much of yourself, whether that was materialistically or emotionally or both. Okay. All right, so now last one we have is Pisces. Pisces, this full moon is affecting your seventh house. Okay, so this is highlighting your marriages. Well, not marriages, but in a general sense, your marriage, or those of you who are in any sort of romantic uh, relationships, as well as this could also be partnerships too. So it could be like a business partnership, but most especially marriage and relationships here. Thinking about investing in them emotionally. Are you investing in them emotionally? Okay. Are you really taking the time to pour your love into those relationships? Okay. So if you haven't been, now is the time to do that. Okay. So express that in a healthy and of course loving way. Um, if it is something that has come to an end recently for you or is currently coming to an end, you can definitely see that happening. So there could be some closure or a resolution involved in that in a partnership. So again, that could even deal with business partnerships, if not marriages. But yeah, if you guys have been sort of neglecting those important relationships, and you still want those, long term, you definitely are being called to pour some love into those relationships at this time. Okay, it is, it's good to have that time for yourself too, but again, if you are with somebody, and you want that long term, you want it to be maybe a marriage soon too, it's important at this time. The full moon is showing you it's time to invest emotionally into that connection. Okay. Especially with that Virgo energy with the full moon, it brings a sense of stability. How can you bring that sense of security to the relationship? Okay. Well, thank you all for watching this video. If you would like your own reading, please contact me. You can check the description below on how you can reach me for your own personal reading, where we can get more in depth to your personal chart here. So thank you guys for watching this, and hope to see you in the next one.